Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to talk about our next divisional chart, that is D10 chart, and we are going to see that how you can read and analyze the D10 chart in your horoscope. And in the previous section, if we talk about the divisional charts, we have discussed about the D9 chart, and we have seen that how the D9 chart is being read and how it is being analyzed by applying various rules and factors which are being implemented in that chart, and how the results are being seen of the D9 chart. So today we are going to move ahead in towards analyzing the next divisional chart, which is also defined as the second most important divisional chart in Vedic astrology, that is the Dasamsa or the D10 chart. So we are going to move ahead and we are going to see that what is a D10 chart, how it is being analyzed, and what kinds of results does D10 chart gives. So let's move ahead, and before moving ahead, if you have not seen the previous video of the D9 chart, you can watch it in the playlist of the channel. And we should first discuss that what is a divisional chart itself. Before moving ahead into the deep detail of the analysis of the D10 chart, we should first know that what is a divisional chart itself. So if we talk about the divisional chart, divisional charts are the detailed version of various or specific houses of the main birth chart. If we talk about the D10 chart, it is the detailed version, it is the detailed horoscope only of the 10th house of your main birth chart. So that is the D10 chart. When we look at the 10th house in deep detail, then a whole new horoscope of the 10th house is being constructed, that is known as the D10 chart. Now how this horoscope is being constructed, let's know that first. See, divisional charts are being created by dividing each sign into several sections, and that number of sections depend upon the divisional chart itself. So for D10, for D10, each zodiac sign which is 30 degrees long is divided into 10 equal sections. In D9 we have seen that each zodiac sign of 30 degrees long is divided into 9 equal sections. So here we are talking about D10. So in D10, each zodiac sign is divided into 10 equal sections, that is each section will be of 3 degrees. Now if your any planet in your horoscope, in your main birth chart, is at 7 degrees, for example, I am just telling you an example, that if your any planet in your main birth chart is at 7 degrees, then it means that it will be in the zodiac sign of Cancer in your D10 chart. For example, your Jupiter is at 7 degrees, your main birth chart, you can look that in your D10 chart itself, that if Jupiter is at 7 degrees, then it will come into the zodiac sign of Cancer in your D10 chart, because the whole 30 degree sign of Taurus, 30 degree sign of Taurus is being divided into 10 equal sections, starting from Taurus up to Aquarius. 3 degree sign of Taurus, then 3 degree sign of Gemini, then 3 degree, next 3 degrees interval of Cancer. So if we start from Taurus, then it will end up to Aquarius, and if your any planet like Jupiter is at 7 degrees, then it will arrive into the sign of Cancer in your D10 chart. So this is how a D10 chart is being constructed, and this is how each and every divisional chart is being constructed, but the difference is in the number of intervals in which it is being divided. So this is how a divisional chart is being constructed. Now let's see that what is D10 chart itself. What are the various kinds of areas, what are the various kinds of things that D10 chart represents. D10 chart is the most important chart, is the second most important chart after Namansha, which represents your career, your profession, your work life, your successes, professional success, name, status, reputation in society and workplace. All these kinds of things are seen from the divisional chart, that is seen from the D10 chart. All kinds of power, authority, that you will have in your hand are seen through the divisional chart of the 10th house, that is the D10 chart. Now let's talk about the natural signifactor of the D10 chart. Each and every divisional chart in Vedic astrology has one natural signifactor planet, one planet that governs the whole divisional chart, that rules the whole divisional chart. In this case it is Saturn. In Naumansha video we have seen that the governing planet, the natural signifactor of the D9 chart was Venus. Similarly in this case it is Saturn, because Saturn is the planet which is responsible for one's career, for one's work, because Saturn represents your hard work, your efforts. So that is why D10 chart has the natural signifactor ruler as Saturn. Now let's see that what are the various kinds of factors that have to be implemented while reading the D10 chart. What are the various kinds of factors that you have to rules that you have to implement while reading and analyzing this D10 chart in your Vedic horoscope. Now there are 6 rules which I am going to tell you, and that you have to apply, and on the basis of that you will get the results. So let's talk about that. The first rule is, see the position of the Amatyakarak planet. Amatyakarak planet is the planet with the second highest degrees in your main birth chart. Just see the position of the Amatyakarak planet in your D10 chart. I am talking about the D10 chart right now, so please keep your whole focus on your D10 chart, not on the main birth chart. Keep your main birth chart aside right now. So you just see on the D10 chart that where your Amatyakarak planet is sitting, the house in which it is sitting, it will have certain influence on your career. Now the next thing which you have to see is, the next rule is that see the strength and position of Saturn in your D10 chart, because Saturn is the natural governing planet of the whole D10 chart. So if Saturn is not strong, this indicates that person will have some setbacks in his career, will have some delays in his career. So Saturn should be strong in D10 chart, because Saturn is the natural planet which is ruling the whole divisional chart. So it is acting as the foundation structure. If foundation is poor, then the further structure cannot hold on. So Saturn should be strong. Just see the strength and position of Saturn. The next rule which you have to see is, which you have to apply, is see the position of the first house lord of the D10 chart. Where the first house lord of the D10 chart is sitting, that you have to see. If it is sitting in the 5th house, for example, if it is sitting in the 5th house, then 5th house will have a prominent influence on your career. If it is sitting in the 6th house, then it will have prominent influence on your career. So you have to see that in which house the first house lord of the D10 chart is sitting. The next thing which you have to apply is see the strength and position of the 10th house lord of the D10 chart. I am not talking about the main birth chart, we are just talking about the D10 chart parameters. So you have to see that where the 10th house lord of the D10 chart is sitting, with what strength it is sitting. So you have to see these two factors, because this will also show that where your career is going, what are the various kinds of influences this planet is giving on your career. So you have to see the 10th lord strength as well as position in the D10 chart. Now the next two rules are very important, and if you are able to apply these rules, 90% of the time it works, that you will get the most approximate answer towards your career, towards your profession, towards your successes in your career. So just see, just listen very carefully. The next two rules, of which the first is, just see the nakshatra of the ascendant, nakshatra of the ascendant of the D10 chart. Okay, in which nakshatra the ascendant of the D10 chart is sitting. The further next rule which you have to apply is, just see the nakshatra of the first house lord in which it is sitting. The nakshatra in which the first house lord of the D10 chart is sitting. So you have to see these two nakshatras, and these two nakshatras will not be the nakshatras which you see on the natal table chart in your on the first page of your main birth chart horoscope. So these nakshatras will be different. I will make you understand with an example. Just look at the screen right now. On your screen you are able to see that there are two charts of the same person. These are the two charts of the same person, and the above figure is of the main birth chart, the below one is of the D10 chart of the same person. Now what about the nakshatra which I am talking about is that you don't have to consider the main birth chart nakshatras. That is, the first rule if we apply, then as the nakshatra of the ascendant of the D10 chart in which it is sitting. So in the D10 chart the ascendant is sitting in Mool Nakshatra, but in main birth chart the ascendant is sitting in Aslesha Nakshatra. So you have to see, you have to consider here Mool Nakshatra, not the Aslesha Nakshatra. Then the next rule which you have to apply is that the first house lord of the D10 chart, the nakshatra in which the first house lord of the D10 chart is sitting. So the first house lord is Jupiter of the D10 chart. It is sitting in the 6th house and it is in the nakshatra of Mrigashira. While in the main birth chart Jupiter is sitting in the 11th house in the nakshatra of Rohini. So from this you have to consider the two nakshatras as Mool Nakshatra and Mrigashira Nakshatra, not the nakshatras in main birth chart, that is Aslesha and Rohini. So I hope you are understanding that what I am saying. So you have to take these two nakshatras, and when we will move ahead in the next sub series of career through nakshatras, you will be able to understand that what are the various kinds of professions which are represented by these nakshatras. This is the chart of our former Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and you are able to see that from the D10 chart if we take the two nakshatras Mool and Mrigashira, both these nakshatras represent politicians, ministers and administrators, and the first house lord is sitting in the 6th house, that is Jupiter. Jupiter itself represents ministers and administration, and 6th house is the house of politics. So she was the ex Prime Minister of India. So you can see that how the D9 chart is being interpreted. So these are the 6 rules which you have to apply in your D10 chart before moving ahead towards the results. So after applying these 6 rules, you will be able to get the clear picture of the D10 chart, and you will be able to see that what kinds of results your D10 chart is going to give. Now after completing all these rules, after applying all these rules, now you can move ahead and see the whole divisional chart of the 10th house, that is the Dashmansha and D10 chart, as a independent horoscope. And now you can see that what are the other results that it can give. But you have to apply these 6 rules while reading or analyzing the D10 chart. Without applying these rules, you are not going to get the clear picture of the D10 chart. Okay, so this is how a D10 chart is being analyzed. This is how a D10 chart is being read. So we will understand more about nakshatras in the coming sub series of the nakshatra career through nakshatras, and in that you will be able to see that what are the various kinds of professions or career fields which are represented by each and every nakshatra, and then you will be able to get a more clear picture. So if you are new to my channel, subscribe below. If you have any queries, you can mail me on my email ID. For more information, you can check on my Facebook and Twitter page. Their links are in the description. So we will meet in the next video, and in the next video we will talk about the method of finding out the nakshatra which determines your career. So we'll meet in the next video, and after that we will start our career through nakshatra series. So till then, goodbye and thank you.